clashed against the window panes. Wind howled a mournful cry, echoing the scene inside the apartment. A woman, her face pale and streaked with tears, scrambled around. She moved with frantic urgency, tossing clothes into a battered suitcase. A crimson stain marred the beige carpet, a chilling testament to the violence that had unfolded. Her hand trembled as she reached for a silken scarf, its once vibrant colors now dulled by a smear of blood. Her eyes darted to the doorway, fear etched into her features. She couldn't stay. She had to vanish. With a gasp, she dropped the scarf, her heart pounding like a drum in her chest. There was no time for second thoughts. She had to disappear. She fled into the storm, the city lights blurring into an indistinguishable kaleidoscope of colors through the downpour. Each gust of wind seemed to whisper a threat, each raindrop a chilling reminder of her desperate flight. The city cloaked in the torrential downpour swallowed her whole. City Detective Jack Mercer, a man hardened by years on the force, surveyed the chaotic apartment. The air hung heavy with the metallic scent of blood, a grim welcome mat. Rain pattered against the broken window pane, the sound a constant rhythmic counterpoint to the silence of the room. He crouched beside the bloodstain, his gaze sharp and analytical. Footprints barely discernible marred the dusty floor leading towards the window. He followed them, his mind already piecing together the frantic escape. A sudden screech of tires from the street below made him look up. A black sedan, its headlights momentarily blinding in the rain, sped away. A near miss, perhaps, or a calculated warning. Mercer, his instinct screaming danger, knew this was only the beginning. The apartment whispered its secrets to Mercer. A crumpled note, its message scrawled in hurried handwriting, lay hidden beneath an overturned ashtray. Keep quiet. It read the words laced with unspoken menace, or it ends badly. A chill ran down Mercer's spine. This wasn't just a random act of violence. This was a carefully orchestrated act, designed to silence someone. His gaze fell upon a pack of cigarettes, lying open on the coffee table, one cigarette missing. The brand was unfamiliar, expensive. A clue, perhaps. Every detail, no matter how insignificant it seemed, could be a piece of the puzzle. He pocketed the note, the cigarette pack, and the blood-soaked scar. Each item felt heavy with unspoken truths, with the weight of a life in peril. He had a feeling this case was going to lead him down a dangerous path, a path shrouded in secrets and lies. The smoky haze of the Silver Echo Lounge hung heavy in the air, a potent cocktail of perfume, cigarette smoke, and secrets. The sultry voice of the lounge singer, a woman known only as Stella, washed over the room, each note tinged with melancholy and a hint of something darker, something unknowable. Mercer, nursing a scotch, watched her from the shadows. She moved with an effortless grace, her eyes holding a lifetime of stories. Some whispered, some screamed, all hidden beneath a veneer of practiced indifference. A man, his face hidden in the shadows of a fedora, sat at a table near the stage, his gaze fixed on Stella. He passed her an envelope, a discreet exchange in the heart of the bustling club. Mercer, his senses on high alert, caught the flicker of fear in Stella's eyes before she masked it with a practiced smile. This case, he realized, was a tangled web of secrets, and Stella was caught in its center, the skeleton key. Back at his sparsely furnished apartment, Mercer examined his meager collection of clues. The blood-stained scarf, the threatening note, the expensive cigarette pack, and now the memory of Stella's fleeting terror. Each piece was a puzzle piece, refusing to fit into a coherent picture. He pored over the evidence, his mind racing. The clock ticked past midnight, each tick a hammer blow against his nerves. He found it tucked inside the cigarette pack, an ornate key, its metallic surface cold under his touch. It was unlike any key he had ever seen, its design intricate, almost skeletal. This key, he sensed, unlocked more than just a door. It unlocked a secret someone was willing to kill for a singer's secret. Stella. He needed to talk to Stella. The Silver Echo was even more subdued in the daylight hours, the air thick with stale smoke, and the ghosts of last night's revelry. Stella, stripped of her stage makeup and glittering attire, seemed fragile, almost ghost-like herself. She met his gaze with a mixture of defiance and fear. Her fingers, he noticed, bore the telltale marks of recent burns. He said it was an accident. She whispered, her voice hoarse. Said she fell. But I saw the fear in her eyes, the bruises on her wrists. She was talking about the woman from the apartment, the woman whose blood stained the scarf. He said if I ever told anyone, her voice trailed off, that the threat hung heavy in the air. Stella's tale unfolded like a nightmare. The woman Claire Hayes had been involved with a man, a powerful figure, in a shadowy organization known as the Syndicate. Blackmail was their game, their tentacles reaching into every corner of the city. Claire had tried to break free to escape their clutches. She had paid the ultimate price. The key, Stella explained, belonged to a safety deposit box, where Claire had stashed evidence of the Syndicate's operations. It was a dangerous game. They were playing a game with life or death stakes. Mercer, his jaw clenched, knew he was in too deep to back down now. He had to find. Claire had to get her to safety. He wouldn't let another innocent life be lost on his watch. The abandoned subway tunnel reeked of damp earth and forgotten dreams. Mercer, his gun drawn, could hear the echo of his own footsteps as he stalked through the darkness. He had tracked Stella's phone, a desperate lifeline in the encroaching darkness, to this subterranean labyrinth. She was the key to finding Claire, the key to unraveling the Syndicate's web of lies. A sudden clatter echoed through the tunnel, followed by a muffled cry. He whipped around, his heart pounding, to see a group of figures emerge from the shadows. They moved with a practiced ease, their faces hidden behind ski masks, their intentions clear. He was outnumbered, outgunned, and trapped. Just when all hope seemed lost, a figure emerged from behind his attackers. The glint of a blade flashed in the dim light, followed by a startled cry. It was unexpected, this sudden ally, but in this world of shadows and lies, he knew better than to question his good fortune, not when survival was on the line. The abandoned warehouse loomed before them, a skeletal silhouette against the storm-tossed sky. Inside he found Claire, her eyes filled with a mixture of relief and terror. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, but the picture they formed was more horrifying than he could lead her of the Syndicate, the man pulling the strings, the man responsible for Claire's abduction and countless other crimes, was closer than he thought. It was a betrayal that cut deep, a wound that would leave a permanent scar. The warehouse exploded in a cacophony of gunfire. Mercer, his senses on high alert, fought his way through the chaos, his only thought to protect Claire. But as the smoke cleared and the echoes of gunfire faded, he found himself staring into the barrel of a gun, his trusted partner's finger on the trigger. The warehouse stood silent, the aftermath of the battle a grim tabloid. Bodies lay scattered like fallen puppets, their strings cut short. Mercer stood amidst the carnage, his face grim, his eyes reflecting the storm raging outside. He had survived. But at what cost? His partner, his friend, had betrayed him, had been a pawn in the Syndicate's deadly game, and the mastermind, the puppet master himself, remained elusive, a phantom lurking in the shadows. As he walked away from the carnage, the city lights painting his face in stripes of red and blue, a voice whispered through the shadows, "You may have won this round, detective, but the game is far from over. And the truth is a dangerous thing to possess." The voice faded into the night, leaving Mercer standing alone, the weight of its words heavy on his soul. He had stared into the abyss, and the abyss had stared back. And in that exchange, something fundamental had shifted within him. He was no longer the same man who had walked into that rain-soaked apartment. He had been touched by the darkness, forever marked by its chilling embrace.